everybody, welcome back to my channel. Did you know that you don't have to throw away your balloon decorations when they are finished with? You can keep them and you can actually upcycle them and reuse them again. If you have something like a foil balloon or a bubble or even a bobo balloon, they can be repurposed and used again in another display, and I'm going to show you today a really good way of doing it. So you might remember this balloon from a few weeks ago. As I say, it's been a few weeks now, so it's gone down, as you can see, and it was to be expected because this balloon is one that we've had to seal using the 260Q method. If you haven't seen the video with this particular balloon, I'm going to link that up above and down below for you now, so you can have a look at that if you want to. But we can reuse every element that's in this actual design. So say somebody's bought you a balloon, or you've got one at home that you've used as a practice, or maybe you've made it for somebody else and it's getting on your nerves, it's been there for quite a while. So now what we're going to do is take this design apart and we're going to reuse what's inside of it, and I'm going to show you today how to do that. So let's jump straight in. First thing that we're going to want to do today then is just deconstruct the design. So the last part that we put on was this collar of 4 5-inch latex balloons, and we want to take that off. And really, because we tied it on with a 260Q, there's no easy way of getting it off other than cutting the 260Q. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm literally just going to snip that 260Q in between those balloons. I'm just going to be really careful that I don't actually cut the necks of the balloons though, because I want to reuse them. So let's just cut that off. I don't know how sharp these scissors are actually, so these might not be the best ones for this, but there we go. So that has cut through that. Now we should be able to just pull the bits of the 260 out, and then there might be another loop around it, so we might have to cut it again. So even though I have cut that, you can still see that there is an attachment here from the main body of the design onto that set of balloons there. So if I just stretch that out with one hand, and then I can just cut through that with my scissors, and those are off now, so we can reuse those again on another design. So next we've got the neck of the bubble and the foil balloon here, and you can see that we wrapped that 260Q around there quite a lot. So what we need to do now is get that off. So the first piece is actually the piece that we've just taken off to do with the collar of balloons, but we need to get this neck of this one off. So what we're going to do again is get our scissors, and we're going to cut that off, but we're going to be really careful to just cut off the actual 260 and make sure that we don't cut the deco bubble neck or the neck on that foil balloon. And now we're going to try and pull out where we have tied the knots. Just undo the knots if you can. If you can't do it with your fingers, grab a weeding tool if you've got one, or a pair of scissors, and just get underneath that 260 and just pull that knot undone. And then once you've got the knots undone, you're going to be able to undo that binding that we put around the neck of those balloons. So we can just work our way backwards and just unwrap that basically until we get to the last part of the knot, which was the cinch knot that we started out with. So there we go, that's off now. So as you can see, I've now got 2 necks completely open, so I can squeeze out all of the air from the deco bubble first of all. So I'll just give it a bit of a squeeze. Just get rid of a lot of that air out there. So the next step then is to get this foil balloon out of here. I expect you're wondering how we're going to do that, because obviously it's not going to pull out through this tiny neck. We actually need to deflate it, but we want to do it without damaging it. So what we're going to do is get a drinking straw. This is a metal drinking straw, but you can use any drinking straw that you have, as long as it's about the same diameter as this, which is about 5mm, half centimetre ish. What you're going to want to do is, let me tilt this. So you're going to want to open the neck on your foil balloon and just pop the drinking straw into the neck of the foil and push it in until the air is released. Did you hear that? And then now because we're basically, what we're doing is opening the valve with this straw, and now we can squeeze all of that air out of that foil balloon. So let's just give it a good squeeze. And you can do this with any foil balloon. So say you've been using balloons for a party that would happen every year, maybe Easter balloons or Valentine's balloons or something like that. You can always let them down in this way, pop them away somewhere safe. So pop them in your loft or somewhere like that. Keep them until next year, and then either get your local balloon store to reinflate them yourself. So let's give it a good squeeze. You want to be as gentle as you can with the foil balloon. Try not to squeeze it up and squish it too much, but obviously you're going to need to a degree in order to get all that air out. Okay, so as you can see now, there is the balloon. So what we're going to do is just remove that straw, and that just comes out like that. And now we should hopefully have removed enough air from the foil to be able to just pull it out of the deco. So just give it a good tug. There we go. So there is that foil heart. We can reuse that. It can be inflated with helium or air again, and it will inflate in exactly the same way and be absolutely perfect to reuse again. Here is our deco bubble. Now we can use this again. So when you get a deco bubble out of the packaging, first of all, it will come in the pack with a little plastic wrapped like moisture pack. It's basically like a little moist towel, and they put that in the packaging just to keep this plastic of this bubble really supple. And of course, I would imagine that if you've been gifted a balloon or you have them at home that you've made for people or whatever, you're not going to actually have a moisture pack to keep it nice and moist. So what I suggest doing is squeeze out as much of the air as you possibly can. So I'm just squeezing out all of that air from that deco. So now I would just get a Ziploc bag, and I would just put it into a Ziploc and just squeeze out as much air as possible from the balloon and the bag, and then that will hopefully stop it from degrading. But to be honest with you, we do keep these out in the shop just like this, and they're fine normally. Just don't leave it too long before you reuse it. So this bubble, this one here, this foil is also ready to use again. These ones, a bit more difficult to take down, so I'm just going to leave them as they are. I can reuse this as a collar of balloons, or I could use it as a balloon base. I could take them apart, so I could take off those 260s completely and just unwrap my duplets, and I could use them as two separate sets of balloons. So many opportunities to reuse your balloons. You don't need to waste lots of money on buying loads of new balloons. So what I'm actually going to do with this is a bit of an experiment now for another video. I'm going to reuse this deco bubble. I'm going to cut it open. I'm going to put something inside it. I'm going to try and seal it back up with the heat sealer, and then I'm going to pop it onto a hat box, so it makes a hat box display. I'm going to do a video of it, see if it works. If it does, it's going to be great. If it doesn't, it'll be a flop. But it'll be interesting to have a bit of an experiment and see. So I hope that helps you to reuse some of your balloons. I know they're expensive and we don't want to keep wasting them as well. If you have enjoyed this video and you've learned something new, I'd love it if you would hit the like button. Drop me any questions, comments, anything like that that you've got down below. If you'd like to see something in particular in the future, either ballooning or Cricut or anything like that, let me know down below. I'm always open to suggestions, and I really do enjoy trying new stuff. So with all that said, have a brilliant week. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye.